Good morning and happy Thursday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And it is foggy and kind of humid here today. I think we're supposed to get some rain later in the day, which then might help break it up. But for now, it's kind of like pea soup. So we'll give it a minute here for everybody to pop on. I hope you had an awesome day yesterday. Let's set our intention that today goes as well or better, this or something better. Good morning, Nancy. You're the first one popping on today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's do a little tapping and let's do a little breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Grounding yourself through your tailbone, through your feet. Good morning, good morning. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Feeling the energy of Mother Earth coming up through your feet. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. Glad you're here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I'm feeling a minute. We got to shake our hands off. Shake off some of the old stale energy. Now tap. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So, as often happens, we're making a run on the Ascended Masters deck. So sometimes once we start a particular deck, we're hanging out with that deck for a period of time. And today we actually had two cards that jumped. Yesterday, and it was a jumper. Yesterday it landed on the floor. Today they just landed on the desk. But there were two cards, so I'm like, okay. So we have a little more in-depth message coming our way. And it felt to me like they maybe ought to be in the reverse order, but I tested and nope, it's supposed to be this order, so we'll go with it. So Ascended Masters deck, and our first card is White Terra Purification. And look at the pretty sacred geometry there. Good morning, Abigail. Welcome. Thank you for all the fun stuff. And Gwen, good morning, good morning. People starting to roll in now. White Terra Purification. So a nice deep breath in, a cleansing breath, and out. All right, let's see what she has to tell us. Something involved in a situation needs purifying. So I want you to think about a situation in your life where something just doesn't quite feel right. Copacetic, clear, clean, whatever words you want to put to it. Just bring that situation to mind. Something involved in this situation needs purifying. This could be a signal to purify your motives and intentions so they're purely about service and not about fear or competition. It could mean a purification of your body and diet. Been working on that, trying to cut back on the sugar. Haven't been overly successful given the birthday, but working on it. Or it could simply mean adjusting your life so that all of your actions are in integrity with your true beliefs. So part of that then is knowing your true beliefs. And that would be one of those things where everybody's name just keeps rolling. Apparently we all are supposed to pick up this message big time. How in alignment, good morning, Sue, glad you're here. How in alignment are your day-to-day activities with what you truly believe in? Because, I mean, we have all made the jokes and cast aspersions on those who are all pious and in church on Sunday, and then Monday they're jerks. So this is about living in integrity. This is about living in alignment with your, good morning, Mel, glad you're here. Living in alignment with your soul's beliefs. And again, if you aren't sure what they are, there's tons of lists out there. So you could do lists of attributes or whatever and find positive aspirations. Pick out the list. Most of us who have gone through higher education have had the opportunity, we'll call it that, to address these lists. And typically they have you circle everything that you either feel fits you or would like to have fit you. I'm honest, I'm loyal, I'm in integrity, I'm all the things, right? And then they have you go back through, need to get back on a healthier diet. Yes. That's the thing that travel does, is it tends to disrupt our healthier eating patterns. So you circle a bunch of stuff. So they might say, well, here's a list of 100, you may circle 25. Then you go back and you mark the ones that are most important to you. Those are useful to spell out, what direction am I headed? Where am I wanting to go? And then asking the hardest question, is my behavior day to day in alignment with getting me there? Good question. Let's see. White Tara will support and assist this purification. There she is again. Ensuring that it's a harmonious process that brings great blessings to you and others. Additional meanings for this card. Put your whole focus onto how may I serve instead of what might I get out of this, and everything will go better. Again, we want to, good morning, Bobby. Glad you're here. Welcome. We want to have a balance in our lives of giving and receiving. So I temper the that first one with look for balance. Look for balance. That at least as much as is flowing out needs to be flowing in to keep you in some kind of balance. Once in a while, you get to have a bolus too, right? Okay. Affirm loving thoughts about yourself and others. Assume the best. Good morning, Carolyn. Glad you're here. Welcome. Assume the best, all right? Avoid chemicals and toxins. That's a no-brainer in terms of, yeah, that's a good idea. It's not such a no-brainer in terms of ferreting out where all they come from. So you're out walking your dog and all of a sudden there's those little white signs on pegs on the corner of someone's lawn. Don't let your dog walk on the lawn. It's in our lives a lot. And my dad the other day, I'm going to go spray weeds. Not with a Roundup, you're not. You already had lymphoma. Let's not do this again, okay? So it's pretty much a part of our everyday life, but we can be paying attention. Food. If your food is square, there's probably something in there that isn't healthy for you. Just saying. All right, what else we got here? Avoid any behaviors that lead to feelings of guilt or shame, as these lower your self-esteem. They also lower your vibration. You're not going to be able to be your beautiful beacon self if you've got a bunch of stuff that you're harboring regret or shame or guilt about. So again, the stuff from the past, make a ritual. Make a ritual. Some kind of a way to release that, to let that go. Make amends. If you can make amends without causing further harm, make amends. And regardless of how the other person responds, and sometimes you can make amends just energetically. Write it on a piece of paper, burn it ceremonially, fling the ashes to the universe, whatever. Do something that helps you release and let go of whatever you're hanging on to where you're feeling terrible, horrible, awful, shameful, guilty. All right? Leave situations that are out of integrity with your true beliefs. Yeah, why are you hanging around in a place where something's going down that doesn't feel right to you? We're also in a time when we are being called to speak up about the things that don't feel right to us. Leaving the situation is a good first step. Another step can be, I'm not okay with this. I'll leave. I'll see you later. Out you go. Out you go. So now it tells us a little bit about White Tara. White Tara is an aspect of the Eastern goddess Tara, who appears in various forms signified by different colors. As White Tara, she's a loving and helpful goddess who increases life expectancy and enlightenment in those who call upon her. White Tara is the very essence of everything that is pure within each human and all of life. Call upon White Tara to reveal your pure inner self, as well as to purify anything in your life. Indigenous people oftentimes use smoke, so they'll do a smudge to purify. And I used to love watching the person who was smudging because they'd sometimes get a sense of something that needed a little more smoke. So they'd get their feather going and add a little extra to someone's heart area or whatever. So that's our first card, Purification. And our second card, which doesn't surprise me at all, is Open Your Heart to Love, Jesus. So let's take a breath on that one. Opening your heart to love. Being that beacon, that radiant beacon of light. Everything you desire and every prayer that you seek comes as a result of opening your heart to both sending and receiving love. Your heart is the gateway of receptivity. I loved that. I thought that was a beautiful line. If one of you wanted to put that in the feed, I'd be eternally grateful. Your heart is the gateway of receptivity. I like that. It is the answer to every question you have about your love life, relationships, health, life purpose, and so on. The more you allow yourself to love, the greater depth and meaning your life holds. So really dig in here. Let's do a deep dive. Let's risk a little bit. And I use that 4-letter R word cautiously because so many people are risk averse at this point in time. And oftentimes on the front end, have you not noticed this? On the front end, the risk seems bigger than once you've actually done whatever it is. And, well, that wasn't so bad. It's that anticipatory stuff. Jesus and the other ascended masters will support you in this endeavor, ensuring that you're protected and safe as you open your heart to love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And we get double duty there. That is fabulous. That's how important that line is. Your heart is the gateway to receptivity, opening up that divine feminine. Additional meanings for this card. To manifest a soulmate relationship, heal any fears about giving or receiving love. And by soulmate, that can be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. Many of us walk this earth with people who really get us. And I would say they're soulmates as well. Forgive those who seem to have hurt you. And notice that word, seem. Because oftentimes it can be operating as life lessons. There's life lessons in those wounds that we need to assimilate within ourselves. Let's see. Jesus helps anyone who calls upon him, regardless of the person's religious or spiritual beliefs. Call upon Jesus for help with healing yourself or others, emotionally, physically, or mentally. So feel that energy. Just kind of feel that energy. Your heart is the gateway to receptivity. Open your heart to love, purification. So coming at things from an open heart, coming at things from a place of anticipating the best from others. Does that mean if someone does something that's wounding, that you just keep pouring love into them? Maybe not. But you certainly give people the benefit of the doubt to begin with. And again, as this time is calling for, being brave enough to address those hurts. You know, when you said X, that really upset me. Here's why. I'm wondering if you really meant it that way, or, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and see if there's a conversation that can happen there. We tend to desire and expect that the conversations are going to go the way we'd like. Had a conversation yesterday with someone where we just don't communicate with the same kind of meaning. So the conversation was short, abrupt, not overly pleasant, but I said what I needed to say. I kept it brief, got the grunt in response. Oh well, I said what I needed to say. I'll move on. They'll move on. We'll see how things play out in the future. So, those are our cards for today. White Tara, Purification, and Jesus, Open Your Heart to Love. Have an awesome Thursday. We're supposed to get some thunderstorms later today, I guess, which, that's okay. We could use some water. I'm going to go water the plants right now, just because I need to commune with my foliage a little bit. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.